Hello and welcome to Learning Excel 2016. My name is Mike Henry and this is the second video from Chapter 6. In this video we're going to learn how to take and make an exact copy of another sheet, and then after we've done that we're going to learn how to use formulas over multiple different sheets, and I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways to do it, not just the one way that the book is showing you. So as we look at the sheet here, we have quarter 1, quarter 2, 3, and 4 all built out really nice. They all look the same. They all have the numbers in there. They're all being created by formulas. The next step, or the next thing we'd really want, is another sheet here called either summary or total year to date, something that would be adding up the course of these 4 sheets. Now, we could just click here and then retype in a whole sheet and format it and make it look just like this one, and then put in those numbers. A lot of work. We could also create a new sheet and do a copy and paste and move some things over. A little bit more efficient, but again, we're doing a lot of work. Now, the other thing that we could do is we can do something to be more productive. And you can see right here, what I'm going to do is with quarter 4, before I click on it, I'm going to hold down my control key, and now I'm going to click down on quarter 4 and pull sideways. You can see I get a little piece of paper, looks like it has a plus key on it, and when I let go I get an exact duplicate of these 2 sheets. Exactly the same, the only difference is this one is labeled with a 2. Now right here I'm going to rename this sheet and call it Summary. So now I have a summary sheet. And when I look at this sheet, I go, well, there's a couple of things there I might need to change. Like right here, it shouldn't say quarter 4 anymore. It should say summary. And everything else is looking good. They're all the same. I would only have 3 columns here. I need 4, 1 for each quarter. So what I'm going to do is just take and create a totals row there. And here I can type in quarter 1. And then right next to it, I'll put in here quarter 2. Now I have a pattern between these 2, and I'll just bring that over so I have quarters 3 and 4. Obviously all the numbers in here are incorrect, so I would just delete my numbers. So now, really quickly, efficiently, I think that probably took us less than 20 seconds, I was able to create a new sheet that looks exactly like the other ones. So being productive, creating a new sheet. Now the next step is I need some numbers in here. And what I really want is the total for quarter 1 child care centers right there. So that number 16388 needs to appear there. And you go, well, we can do that very quickly, Mike, because I remember that old formula. I can do an equal. I click on quarter 1. Notice up here on my formula bar, quarter 1 now has single apostrophes around it, and that says go to the tab called quarter 1, and then my exclamation point says go to the cell, and in our case we're going to do this one, E6. So it says go to the tab called quarter 1, then show me whatever's in the cell E6. So you can see there's our 16388. I pull that down and it works because there's E6, there's E7, E8, E9. It works. Relative references work just fine using the over multiple sheets. Now I want to show you that if I take this and go sideways with it, it's not going to work because over here I still see quarter 1. The problem is I see F6 in here. Okay, so it moves sideways. So that's not going to work to go from quarter 1 to quarter 2 in that effect. But I do want you to see other ways to do this. So right here on quarter 2, you can see we have April, May, and June. We add those together to get that number 15376. Well, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do a little math. We're going to do equal. Now I want to use quarter 2 here, so I click on quarter 2, I get my quarter 2, and then I want April, so that's going to be B6 right there. And I hit the plus button. Okay. Now if I click right here on here, you'll notice that it says I'm still on the sheet quarter 2, and it brings up my C6. I can hit plus, and then I click right here for June, and I get quarter 2 D6. Now you'll see that there's my 15 376, just like there was 15,376 there, 1113, 1. And so when we grab this and pull this down, 1113 and 1. So you can see that relative reference is working good. Now you go, well, that's great, Mike, but what if the range was much bigger? What if I had a whole bunch of numbers I wanted to put in there? And this is where we can use a function. So you'll see in here I put equal and SUM, and I open up my parenthesis, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on quarter 3, because this is the quarter 3 column, and then I highlight in here the 3 cells that I want. So now on our formula bar you can see it says sum on the worksheet or the tab quarter 3. I want you to go to the cells B6 through D6. So it's taking those and adding them together. I close off my parenthesis and hit enter, and sure enough I get my 11,426. So now I've shown you multiple ways to do math on different worksheets. Okay, and so right here in quarter 4 I just need the number real quick. I'm just going to click on quarter 4, get this, and we'll bring this down. And that works great for us. Now right here we're going to look at totals, and I'm going to do the total in a couple different ways so we can get a good feel for it. The first way is I can just click right on here, AutoSum, and I'm summing up those 4 totals, and there's my year to date, 57,266. Now I want to show you a different way that I can do this, and I am going to still use the child care numbers because I want you to see the same number over and over again. So when we start this formula, I'm going to do equal. Now I can click on quarter 1, and I click again. Remember, I'm using the same top one. I'm going to click here on B6. I hit the plus key. I click to quarter 2. So you can see up here it's quarter 1, use E6. Quarter 2, again I'm going to use E6. I hit the plus key again. I have to then click on quarter 3. I have to click on E6. Remember, there's 2 steps there, and then I'm allowed to hit the plus button. And I'm going to go to 4. I'm going to go to E6, and now I can finally hit enter. Okay, so you can see I get that same number as if I added across. But look at that formula. Quarter 1 and a cell. Quarter 2 and a cell. Quarter 3 and a cell. Quarter 4 and a cell. That was 8 clicks that I had to do there. Now imagine if I did the 12 months. I'd have to do 24 clicks. If I did 52 weeks, I'd end up clicking 104 things. You're going, wow, Mike, that's a lot of work. So that's why I'm going to show you how we can use a function over these cells. So again, I'm going to do that same child care line so the numbers equal the same, and you'll see why. But here I'm going to do a sum. I'm going to do a sum, and you see I open that up. Now here's a little bit different. I click on quarter 1, but really in this case I'm using the same cell every time. The difference is what I'm actually using is all these quarters. So right now I hold down my shift key and I click on quarter 4. You can see that it now says the sum of quarter 1 to quarter 4. So really the range is the tabs, and then I just click here on E6 and I close my parenthesis. And you see I get the exact same number as I get all across. Now the reason I want to show you this is this formula is saying it's anything between quarter 1 and quarter 4. Now if I come over here and I take quarter 2 and I mess around with it and I move it here, so it goes quarter 1, 3, 2, 4, the summary doesn't care. No problem to the summary. But now if I take quarter 3 and I pull it and put it on the other side of summary, and I click on the summary, look at that, 45,840. So what was here, this 11,4, is now out. It's now not part of that because this formula says only take between quarter 1 and 4. If I took quarter 2 and moved it outside, you'll see that the summary again goes down. So it's very important to understand that this range can be moved around. So if people start moving around your tabs, they can start really affecting your formulas because now you can see that that's there. So it's very important to understand we can do math across multiple sheets in a lot of different ways. We can work with doing each individual sheet, or we can do the sums. So in this video, the first thing that we did is we took quarter 4 and we turned it into an exact duplicate for another tab, and when we had that, we then were able to change that to be our summary page. A couple quick editing changes, and it saved us a lot of time and energy. The next thing that we did is we learned how to use multiple types of formulas. We took and just displayed something from a different sheet. We learned to do math using the pointer method, and then we used the sum function to do math on one particular sheet, and then we did formulas over many sheets, and we did that using the pointer method, clicking on quarter 1 in E6, quarter 2 in E6, and then we learned how to use the function across multiple tabs, where the range was actually the tab names, quarter 1 to quarter 4. A lot of important information in this video. It's okay to go back and watch it a couple times.